Back on Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery and Locked On Sports Atlanta. YouTube.com is where you find Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Free and available to download all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review there. And, of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Don't forget, Roku and Amazon Fire is also where you catch us now. Check us out on those platforms as well. Well, the Braves come back home. They'll get ready for Friday against the Philadelphia Phillies. And, it was kind of, look, remember, hey, just saying, remember I told you about this road trip last week? I said, this is kind of a sneaky, tough road trip out west. Seattle, San Francisco plays well at home. Okay, well, not that we told you so, but we told you so. Anyway, one guy that the Braves could certainly use, though, here down the stretch is Matt Olson. Listen to some of these numbers, okay? How about for the month of September thus far? In 12 games in the month of September, Olson has 4 hits and 42 at-bats, 49 plate appearances. He is hitting .095 with a .225 on base and a .167 slugging. That's a .391 OPS. He has 14 strikeouts to only 4 hits. He's at a homer and 4 RBI. Now, I want to give you another number as well, because I thought this was interesting when I looked this up too. Since the All-Star break in the second half of the season, okay? Second half of the season for Matt Olson, 209 plate appearances. He scored 31 runs. He has 11 homers, 31 RBI, and he's hit .207 since the All-Star break with a .297. Remember how good his on-base percentage was earlier in the year? Drawing walks, getting on. .297 on base, .424 slugging, which is a .721 OPS. Now, I know some people love and some people hate projections and things like that. If you project out Matt Olson's numbers to what they will be at the end of the season, which, give him credit, he's played in every game. He leads the majors in games played. He's played all 143 games. His pace this year, 77 walks. That's 11 less than the year before. 32 homers. That's 7 less than the year before. 103 RBI. That's 8 less than the year before. 85 runs scored. That's 16 less than last year. His OPS on track for .797. That's 114 points below what last year was. 31 points off his average, 44 points off his on-base percentage. Well, he's a really good defensive player. You know what his defensive wins above replacement is this year? -0.3. Now, look, has it been a bad season for Matt Olson? No. You give me a guy at first base who hits 32 homers and 103 RBI, but let's factor in, number one, the park that he's playing in. Truist Park is a way better hitter's park than what Oakland Alameda Coliseum is, which has always historically been not a good hitter's park. Tons of foul ground area, tough to hit out of. That's always been a detriment, is guys trying to hit in that park. So you would have thought with Truist Park, remember, people put up their spray charts and, oh, look at this. This would be a home run in Truist. Okay, well, none of that matters until you actually get in the batter's box and have to perform out of all of it. So he hasn't taken advantage of the home park that he plays in. Let's be realistic here. The lineup around Matt Olson compared to what he had in Oakland, do you really want to compare the guys at the top, bottom, and middle of the order in Oakland to, the World Series champs? So he's got a lineup that is, let's on a small scale, say the lineup is 798 million times better than what he had in Oakland. And by the way, his defensive rating isn't telling you that he's some elite defender. He's a -0.3 defensive WAR. Not 3, a -0.3. So he's basically slightly below what the average replacement guy would be for him there. Again, has it been a bad season for Matt Olson? No. But now you need Matt Olson. And you need him. Look, I wouldn't be opposed to giving him a day off or something like that. I'm not going to be surprised if Snitker doesn't drop him down in the lineup a little bit. And if that means Ozuna or somebody hits a little bit higher, I got no issue with that. You need to find a spark to get Matt Olson going. We'll talk more about this in just a second. But first, let me talk about my friends over at Coffee AM. You know how much I love these folks. Coffee AM is your best small batch coffee roaster in America, located right here in the state of Georgia, up in the Canton area. Go online today, coffeeam.com/locked on. Coffeeam.com/locked on. Go through their wide menu of products. You need K-Cups. You want organic coffee. You want flavored coffee. Whatever it is that you want or need out there. You want tea. You need a gift set. Whatever you need is right there for you at coffeeam.com. And let me tell you, folks, you get that box delivered to you and you open it up. It's better than any air freshener you could ever have. Smells tremendous. Their coffee is magnificent. So here's what I got going on for you. Head to coffeeam.com/locked on. Put together that first order. And when you get to the checkout, use the coupon code locked on, LOCKEDON. Use locked on at checkout and you get 15% off your first order. Coffeeam.com. It is the best small batch coffee roaster in America. But now is not the time for Matt Olson to decide to go into a funk. So if Snitker needs to give him a day off, or look, we know how Snitker at times really plays up. He ain't afraid to move guys up and down. Maybe move Olson down a little bit. Maybe move him instead of putting him in that, because right now their lineup needs to score some runs and they need to get some things cranked up and going. Now, look, fortunately, they've got the Phillies who are good, but listen, Phillies right now are fighting for a playoff spot. And you'll still have the god-awful Nats and Marlins and Scuzz Bucket teams and all that kind of stuff. But the Mets, and look, they just got swept by the Cubs. So the Mets did a good job of helping the Braves stay in it. But Matt Olson's one of those guys that if you're going to hit him third or cleanup, he's not getting on base right now. He's not driving in enough runs right now. And he's certainly not just hitting in general right now. Striking out a lot more than normal right now. Drop him down or give him a day off. At this point of the season, you have to be creative about how you get some of your guys fixed. And this team needs all hands on deck. We're just a handful of games before the end of the season. Still a half game behind in the division. So while that's not much, but you can't afford to have Matt Olson just be basically a guaranteed out in the middle of your lineup. And I know it's always the same thing. Oh, yeah, I'll fix it. And well, okay. It's September 15th, last I looked. He's hitting 0.95 for the month. This home series, because usually when I speak about this, guys listen and they get it figured out. So I'm speaking it into existence. Remember last time I talked about Matt Olson coming back here against the Marlins, needed 3 home runs. What'd he do? Hit 3 home runs. So obviously we have a pipeline in there. They listen. They know exactly what's going on. They hear my comments, and they know they have a lot to live up to. So I need Matt Olson to have a big series this weekend. I need him to get his bat on track this weekend with the Philadelphia Phillies. Give me a couple of homers. Give me 4 or 5 hits. Draw me a few walks. Have me a nice weekend series and start to get this thing turned around. Because right now in September, it's been disastrous. And for the second half of the season, it's tough to have my starting first baseman every single day who's only hitting 200 and he has an under 300 on base percentage. Braves really need Matt Olson, and they need him starting Friday night. All right, when we come back, one of the things I liked about the Falcons on Sunday was my favorite new dynamic duo got a bunch of playing time. We'll talk about that next. Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked on Sports Atlanta.